This is your Daily Mix. The following segment is sponsored by
Welcome, everybody. We are talking today to Dr. Jeff Morawski. He's the Chief Medical Officer at Silver Summit Health Plan. This especially, Dr. Jeff, for the summer. You know, kids are out, it's coming up spring, they're getting outdoors, they get hurt, or adults get hurt too. The question is when to go to an ER and when to go to an urgent care. That's a big question. So tell me a little about what is the difference between the coverage and the facility and an ER room as opposed to urgent care?
Yeah, I mean, it's a spectrum, right? We start with our primary care office. And so obviously, if it's a simple problem, we want to go there first. Your PCP knows you, they've got stuff. But there's always those kind of, acute injuries, fall, trip, sprain, all that stuff. ERs are really for life-threatening emergencies. And so if you think you've got a life-threatening emergency, you obviously need to go to an ER, right? I have chest pain. I think I'm having a heart attack. I think, my side of my body's not working right. I think I'm having a stroke. My fever is really high and my kid had a seizure. That's emergencies, right? That's an ER. Urgent care is like mild flu, cough, stomach sprain, vomiting, diarrhea, sprains and small cuts. Eye redness is a good one for urgent care. An urgent care can do like what an office can, but they have a little bit more testing. They may have radiology in the suite with them. And so they can do that care a little more quickly, but they're not going to have the full support that an ER has in terms of all of the specialists and really high-tech equipment. So you kind of sort there.
Okay, as a mom, I know I've seen a lot of injuries in my time. And the big question is, when do I go to the ER? When do I go to urgent care rather? And is there something I need to bring with me or have when I go to urgent care, or do I just go?
I mean, I think the issue you want to look at is you can always use the nurse lines or your PCP office to kind of answer the question about going to an urgent care facility. For me, and I do it for my kids and myself, my doctor, I'll call and say, hey, should I go to urgent care or should I come to your office? It's urgent, right? If you have an emergency, right? When I was young, I fell, broke a bone, you could see the bone. That's kind of clear. That's an ER. Okay, I'm going to the ER. Those kinds of things, you just go. It's an ER. Your best guess is always right in terms of coverage. It's called the layperson standard. You believe you should go, you go. Urgent care, you can always ask that question of a nurse advice line or your PCP. They'll help you figure it out. But like, I have a little ear pain. That's a good urgent care question if you can't get a hold of your PCP or you're traveling.
Okay, and then what if, when it comes to me, I'm always like, I don't know, what should I do? I'm still unsure. What's kind of the last say, you know what, Melissa, this is what you do.
I always tell people that you have to use your best judgment. If you think it's an emergency, you need to go to the emergency room. And that's really always the right answer, because you know you better than anybody knows you. And so you feel like, I think I'm going to die, regardless of what the reason is, you need to go to the ER. If you're one of those stoic people, and we all have one in our family who won't go to the ER, even if the bone is sticking out, you have to help them make the decision of, I really think you should go to the ER. But it also goes the other way. Like, well, I'll just go to the ER. Well, my ear hurts. Well, why don't you call your doctor first? Maybe they'll send you to urgent care. And that can have financial implications just with your own insurance coverage based on what your copay is or your co-insurance is, if you have one, for the ER or an urgent care.
All right, let's talk about that. What if I don't have insurance, et cetera, or I'm looking for a little bit of help? I'm not sure how this all works. Tell me a little about Silver Summit's health plan.
Sure. I mean, I think the best place to go is www.silversummithealthplan.com. I know it's one big word, silversummithealthplan.com. And we have a bunch of resources on our webpage that'll help you understand kind of Medicaid coverage, Medicare Advantage coverage. You can look at the exchange plans from there and get a sense of what that is. And it can also point you to some community resources where folks that don't have coverage can get limited or free care.
A lot of great information, especially this time of the year, people itching to get out with COVID. They want to, enjoy the great outdoors. There can be some downsides to that. So make sure you're safe out there. And if you have questions, of course, you can always go to their website and ultimately listen to the little voice in your head. It'll tell you whether or not it's time to get to the ER. Dr. Jeff, appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
This segment was sponsored by